Good morning, my little nerds. I am Dr. Shereene Idriss, a cosmetic dermatologist based in New York City, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry for missing last Saturday. For those of you new to my channel, I recently, and apologies for the hairdo, but I recently opened my own practice in New York City, and it has been a rough start due to construction. So I had to switch into a pop-up store, and then last minute because of the contractor. And then this past week, I finally moved into my real space, which is now partially completed. So I'm able to see my patients from there while running still the pop-up for all of the administrative stuff. So my life has been a little bit like this. And then to top it off, my son got sick, hence why I missed this week's video, because I was tending to my son at night, especially when he really gets it rough. He has a bad ear infection, poor little kiddo. And he's been sleeping with me and he scratched my face in the process. So I am finally rested. I slept last night and I am here with you guys today. So today I thought would be a fun time to do a video of how to use retinols moving into fall. Okay. On Facebook, I saw that there's a lot of questions about how do you start a retinol moving into fall. And this is a topic which I actually never fully considered myself as an important topic, but taking a step back and having a minute to think, I realized that it actually is a very important conversation that we should have, because we finally finished summer. And summertime with all of the sun and the fun and the fun and the sun, which is not so fun for me because I'm extremely pale and I am so scared of the sun and I hate the feeling of heat, is a confusing time for retinol users because there is a massive myth out there that you cannot use retinols in the summertime. It is a myth. The truth, however, is that retinols do make you more sun sensitive. So I understand for the novices out there, the beginners who want to try to dip their toes, summer is not the best time to start a retinol if you're not used to it or if your skin is not used to it, because it is going to make you sun sensitive. So cue fall, where there is pumpkin spice, everything is nice. We finally get to wear the long sleeves. It's my favorite time of year. I love the wardrobe. I like the coziness. I like feeling a little bit chilly, but not too cold. And the sun's intensity begins to decline. And so this is the perfect time of year to start your retinol journey. Why is it the perfect time of year? Because the heaters haven't been blasted yet. The air quality has not become super dry indoors. And it is actually the perfect time, fall and spring, I would argue, although fall is better because you're going into winter, to start introducing a retinol into your skincare routine. What is a retinol? I'm going to do a very quick 30-second introduction to the queen bee of ingredients, but she needs no introduction. She is the ingredient of every hour. She is a vitamin A derivative. And retinols can sound confusing because you have retinoic acids, retinoids, retinol, retinol esters, retinol palmitate, Go watch my beginner's guide to retinols. I did a video on this a few months ago where I break down the scientific pathway of all the retinols so you understand what you're buying and where it falls into the scientific pathway of how it converts from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And you know yourself and your skin where to jump in and which one is the best retinol for you. What does all of this mean is what I'm trying to say. I'm still slightly sleep deprived. It basically is trying to say, I am trying to say that retinols, all the vitamin A derivatives, are the most proven ingredient out there to help build your collagen, even out your skin tone, reverse signs of sun damage and quote unquote aging, I guess, and basically helps to create a fresh and stronger base for you. So if you are on this journey of having the best skin for the time of life that you are in, then retinols are something you should strongly try to consider adding to your skincare routine. But not all retinols are equal. And again, I strongly encourage you to go watch that YouTube video I did a few months ago. All right, so let us jump in on how to introduce a retinol during fall. I think rule number one is consistency over intensity. I know that now you're eager, the weather is getting colder, you want to jump in, you want to reverse the years, you want to make sure you don't melt, but don't go for the strongest concentration right away. Your face will hate you for it. You will be an inflamed fluff puff and you will not be happy. And you probably will be aging faster in the process because as your skin barrier breaks down, as inflammation happens, your collagen breaks down as a result, and things start to appear on your face that you do not necessarily want. So go for lower concentration ingredients first, and do not be afraid to use them more regularly. And as such, your skin will thank you in the long run. Number 2, buffer the retinol. If you find yourself very sensitive, even to the lowest concentration retinol out there, use a moisturizer first to try to dilute it and to minimize its effects. I'd rather, again, you get something over nothing in the long run. And if you're tolerating even a fraction of a lowest concentration retinol, then that is better than nothing. And finally, this is where percentages of ingredients matter. I think when it comes to skincare ingredients, percentages can actually be very misleading. An example I can think of off the top of my head is Centella Asiatica. There's a famous brand that I actually like that puts the percentage on their packaging, but it's not the actual percentage of the ingredient itself. It is actually a complex, and that is misleading because there is a difference between complexes and percentages of the actual ingredient used. So I'm saying all that because with retinols, it's slightly different. When you see 0.3, 0.5, and 1.0, those are the traditional percentage forms of the retinol that are available to the chemist so that they can formulate the retinol available over the counter. When you find a concentration of 1.5 or 2.5, it is usually a complex, and that is misleading because you then think you're getting something really strong when in fact it might be completely diluted. So then I went into my local drugstore and I asked the sales lady this past week, what are your top 3 over-the-counter retinols that consumers love and buy? Because better to hear it from the horse's mouth. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know what I'm doing. I just asked her, give me the top 3 retinols that perform the best at this drugstore. For all intents and purposes, it was a Duane Reade Walgreens pharmacy in Midtown Manhattan that I went to earlier this week. So she gave me the following 3, which I have dissected and wanted to introduce to all of you guys because I do think that there is merit to these 3 products if you are a retinol beginner. And I will let you know at the end which one is my favorite of the 3, which I was surprised by. So number 1, we have Olay Regenerist's Retinol 24 Max. This one retails for $33. It is a moisturizer retinol. What this does not tell us is the percentage of retinol available in this particular product. All it says is that there is retinol and retinol propionate, which is a retinol ester. And it is a combination of 2 different retinols. It doesn't give us the percentage. However, it is also boosted with vitamin B3, which is niacinamide, in order to help minimize any sort of irritations. They do not name any of the percentages in this particular product. I will open it for you guys. It comes in a jar, which I do not love because with jars comes repeated exposure to air. And as we know, this can then basically get exposed to sunlight and daylight as well. And the efficacy of it will go down over time. However, if you are a newbie to retinol usage, this is actually one that I was surprised to say I do not mind for you to start with. It starts to introduce the ingredient into your skincare routine in a very gentle formulation. So I would say that this is possibly one of those products that I was surprised to actually buy and try and say that it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all that there is no percentage of retinol written on this. I like that it is gentle. I think if you're extremely sensitive or scared to dip your toes, it is a good one to try. And I will say, use it on your face, neck, and I would even go down to your chest and back of your hands at night. It is so gentle that you are not going to get irritated, broken out, or even inflamed from it. So this is Olay's Retinol 24 Max. Ironic because they're making it seem extremely aggressive with the Max, when in fact I find it to be extremely gentle. It's $33 for 1.7 ounces. A good one to try if you are a novice or a very sensitive soul and you are scared of jumping in. Then she showed me this one by number 7, which retails for $42. It is the Advanced Retinol 1.5% Complex. Now, when I saw this, I got annoyed because I'm like, here we go again with the misleading. A layperson's going to see this and think 1.5%, it's so strong, I'm buying it. I ended up buying it to study it for you guys. And what it is really a mix of 0.3% retinol with Matrixyl 3000, which is a proprietary peptide made in France that has effects of boosting collagen production, plus 2 other, what they call retinol optimizers at 1% and retinol soothers at 0.2%. So the 1% plus 0.2%, 1.2% plus the 0.3% of retinol creates a 1.5% complex. I find it misleading. Retinol optimizer and retinol soothers basically means that there is an ingredient in here that helps with the penetration of the retinol, and there's an ingredient in here that helps to minimize any irritation of the retinol, but it doesn't add to the retinol intensity itself. I mean, you can argue that the optimizer does, but it's, again, misleading because it's a complex that is now being written out as 1.5%, so you think it's all retinol, but it's not. It's just 0.3%. To my surprise, though, I actually like it. And I like it for people who are looking for 0.3% retinol. It comes in a pump. There's no constant exposure to air. You open it and it pumps out relatively easily. It has a slight yellow tint to it. A lot of retinols do. It doesn't mean that they all have to have a yellow tint to be effective. It has a scent to it, but a little bit goes a very long way. So literally you need 1 pump of this after you use your serums, after you wash your face, and before you moisturize. If it is too strong, moisturize first and then use this, or dilute this in your moisturizer to buffer this out. Again, I was surprised by this one because when I saw the pack, I hated it and I got upset and I got angry, but I was less angry because then I discovered this one, which retails for $50 by a brand that I love, La Roche-Posay. It is the Redermic R and it is written intensive. This is also just 1 ounce. I will say I love the packaging. The reason I open it from the wrong side, I always do that. Hold on. The reason I like this is also because it comes in a tube. And as you guys can see, it is white, unlike the number 7. But the reason I got upset at this one is because it is $50 for 1 ounce. It is written Redermic Retinol Intensive, and nowhere can you find the percentage of retinol in this. And when you read the ingredient list, not that the ingredient list tells you everything, because it does not. It is like reading a recipe. A chocolate chip cookie made one way can be very different than a chocolate chip cookie made another way. Retinol comes all the way on the bottom of this list after sodium hyaluronate, which is not my favorite, which is AKA hyaluronic acid. So I was annoyed. I was annoyed at La Roche-Posay for creating something that they call intensive, where retinol is listed really low in the ingredient list, and yet it is claiming to be intensive and look extremely medical, but there is no information to be found on the concentration of this. So this surprisingly would be my last choice. I would not necessarily go for this one. Instead, if you are somebody who wants to dip your toes but don't have sensitive skin, I think this one is a nice place to start because it is lightweight, a little bit goes a long way, and I love the packaging. It will stay fresh longer. And if you are somebody who does have sensitive skin, or if you are scared to start, or you just want to get the most usage of a retinol everywhere, because we know this area tends to be more sensitive, this is probably a really easy one to begin with. You can use it on your face, neck, chest, and back of hands. It is extremely lightweight. Do not be fooled by the max. But at least you are getting an introduction into retinols into your skincare routine. So those are supposedly the top 3 selling retinols at the local Duane Reade across the street from my home. I hope this video was helpful. If you're nervous, it is okay to go for something that is lighter. That is take home number 1. Number 2, complexes do not equal the percentage of the ingredient. As we have seen with the number 7 retinol complex, it is not actually 1.5% retinol, it is just 0.3%, which is the lowest strength of retinol, but a good one for beginners to start using. And number 3, fall is actually the best time to introduce a retinol into your skincare routine because the air is not yet super dry, The sun is becoming less intense, and it is a good time to start prepping your skin for the harsher months ahead and making sure that you're building a stronger foundation for your own skin's future. So I am Dr. Shereene Idriss. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys again next week. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for videos next, please leave them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. See you next week.